Morning. Uh, the option of picking a relatively stable, relatively remote country and moving to it has slowly been increasing. Now, I know my history with the Russians, and I'm honest to God not worried that they'll break through the border and massacre us all because I know how capable our military is in terms of dealing with the Russians. What I am worried about is the population behind the front lines massacring each other. That is a historic trend of this country. People going ape shit and murdering each other. We have a lot of that type of violence. And as the hostilities are escalating and everybody is slowly taking their place, the societal disruptions are becoming greater and greater. There is more and more what I could term rioting. There is more and more this and more that. And my position as both a pacifist politician who supported reduction of the armed forces as well as a rather vocal opponent of the war on terror and US hegemony, my standing is not all that safe in this country once they start their mobilization process. There are countries where my type are treated not as vermin who betray the country and ought to be shot or walked into a minefield, as I've been told many times by everyone, both in and out of the military, and been told repeatedly, often to my face, that as soon as war comes, they'll come and shoot me personally. So, with war coming, I'm not feeling all that safe. So, I'm thinking of another country. COVID, I was able to do, I was able to tolerate the COVID hysteria. But if this goes to general war with Russia, as is seeming to be what the West is very strongly pushing for, I am not going to be staying here. And moving to any part of Europe east of the Pyrenees is also out. And the UK would have been fine had the monarch still been the monarch, but under Charles, I'm not advising it. So that leaves essentially North America and Asia Pacific. And of the Asia Pacific countries, the one to give me the best trade offer was Australia, as you see in the update I made about the 45 days from now broadcast, which will be my first ever scheduled broadcast that you can actually tune into instead of me randomly turning on the recorder. So you might actually be able to see something worth seeing. I will be able to purchase the game by then, so we will see. It is such a niche game that it is not available online at the moment. You'd have to purchase it. These pirate groups don't like to pirate niche developers' games. They prefer to give them a breathing room. Large companies, they pirate like ferociously, but small, not so much, which is very much respectable. But it also makes sure that abandonware needs its own sites. Luckily, abandonware has its own sites. So Australia's main problem at the moment that I would have trouble with is the COVID restrictions are pretty harsh. They also have a very great deal of coal power, but transforming the situation is not very difficult, so I'm not worried. Dismantling the coal power plants for Australia is not going to be a problem, and it's going to take about 20 years in terms of either energy production, grid stability, coal mining, none of it's going to be a problem, but it's going to take about 20 years. You need to build the carbon capture to algae for every plant, and you can, with a reasonable budget, maybe do like 2 or 3 large ones a year. You just need those water purification round things that have that green water in it around it. That's going to be your algae thing. Oh, without weight. I smoked the rest of my ash, which is still like pretty much ash, but it had a little bit of CBD in it. CBD and THC in it. So now I'm out of this whole stuff. So I'm thinking of doing a random art evening. Timberborn I got, but the latest version I got had bugs that rendered some of the icons invisible. It wasn't good. I'm also playing Darkest Hour and Stellaris, but Stellaris won't even run on this computer worth more than just a random flash update. So you can see it jumps up and down and such. This Columbia gameplay is very interesting, but I don't feel like it right now. The Victoria PDM Plus is also very interesting. The time it takes to industrialize as Japan is now closer to reality. And I'm proud to report that the weight loss worked. I am no longer all that bulgy now. I'm a little bit bulgy if I completely relax. Still going down very slowly. This I lost for some reason. It doesn't work anymore, which is sad. I've been playing Fallout forwards a little bit, but not much, and I'd prefer to record it, to be honest. The Hearts of Iron USSR gameplay was very interesting. I tend to play with countries that lose wars because it's interesting to see what would happen if they played better. Can they like come out of the war on top? And that is mainly my interest, like lost cultures, lost battles, stuff like that. But I occasionally play the major countries who win. And the most recent was the Soviet gameplay. It did not survive the Great Patriotic War. I did not survive it, but I got pretty far. I'm very interested in Crusader Kings, but the laptop overheats so quickly that it actually shuts down before it even gets to the game screen, even if it's the only thing running, which is very sad. I have a very interesting kingdom as Finland. Thinking of doing Scandinavia just to see if I can make the Norse countries and Ukanuska countries survive the Christianization process. They're not going to be too content with it either way, but we might be able to survive it. And my queen went mad and disrobed. Here she's no longer mad. Or not mad yet, you know. The Finnish shadow government is fairly interesting, but as predicted, my policy would result in a great deal of unrest. That's because I see this greater unrest you're approaching and making plans as to how to get there before you guys do and to react to it before you guys do, to adapt to it, to be native to it before you do. Seeing it as likely that you'll end up there and my influence as having negligible or no effect on your probability of ending up there. Mostly because you rarely do anything even remotely like I recommend. You tend to pick something I'm doing and then make the worst case out of it, and then yeah, I'll see how this is going. Tends to be a very common thing with you. Madagascar was very good. Very old videos. So, what video to watch or what game to play? Timberborn looks very good, but I need to see why the icons disappeared. There were some mentions online of it happening, but nobody having a real solution to it. Might even do Aftershock. I'd be interested to see how far I can get with Japan in these lower technology thing. It's going to be damn difficult. Ah, now I know what I'll do. I'll broadcast them by the